podcast with Jenny and Jenny. This is the Noonas podcast with Jenny and Jenny.
Dual set. Heart to heart.
Noonas podcast imida.
Yeah, pretty much.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, welcome to 2022, where COVID just keeps getting better, and the Noonas podcast is back. We didn't get much of a break, did we?
No, man. It's like after
No.
2020, yeah, like with 2022, if you hear some more comebacks, here, review this Noonas podcast.
Yeah, I barely get the last episode of 2021 out, like barely. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, guess what? Every group you know and that you really, really like is coming back with new music, or people are coming out with solo work. And heck, I'm not gonna be able to cover all the comebacks this week because we already have plenty enough that came out on just one day, like the first Monday of 2022. Yeah. So.
Or certain idols getting under hot fire after like saying something stupid. Starting out our year in K-pop, right?
Yes, we are. We're starting out with scandals, and we're starting out with a crap ton of comebacks. Because what else would we expect from K-pop? So, but yes, this is the
news. At least we didn't get hit with like, because if you guys are familiar with K-pop culture. Every first of the year, this is what do you call a company? There's like the equivalent of TMZ in Korea called Dispatch. Always expose couples. It could be like celebrity couples or idol couples at the first of the year, because privacy. Fuck privacy. Am I right?
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as privacy, especially if you're a K-pop idol. But yeah. It's even become a whole joke. Yeah, well, it's been a whole joke between the idols anyway, about like who's going to be the New Year's couple, but there actually surprisingly wasn't a New Year's couple this year. Instead, we found out somebody left a group, a relatively well-known group, though we kind of saw the writing on the wall for a little bit, and then promptly a week later put his foot in his mouth and said some stupid shit during a live stream. So, again, starting off 2022 just absolutely right.
Foolishness.
Pretty much. Yeah, oh my God, it is. We're going to get into that, or pretty much to start off the show, because it would not be, K-pop without that kind of stuff. But then on top of that, like I said, we have five comebacks all on the same day on January 3rd that we're adjusting today. One's technically a holdover from December, because obviously we talked about Kep1er back in December, and they had to postpone because of COVID. So they finally debuted, as well as a debut from what SM's calling, what it was basically SM's girl group, super group.
Yeah. Super group, because it's combining female members from different groups.
Yeah, much like Super M
and
the
NCT
Super M equivalent.
Yeah, or NCTU, because we're gonna explain how they're gonna do their own thing.
Yeah, we'll explain how that's gonna work here in a minute, as well as a solo debut from Woozi from 17, who dropped a new single. As well as two comebacks from both P1 Harmony and Upshin to talk about as well, just to kind of round out our whole comeback schedule. Again, this all came out on January 3rd because they just started off the year right. But let's get into
the segment we call FU is Jae.
I'm crediting Jenny for that, coming up with that one, because that was totally Jenny's idea. Jenny came up with that one completely. But yeah, basically the big news that came out, and this actually all dropped, it was New Year's Eve, New Year's Day?
Yeah, New Year's Eve. It was like 2 J's that we have this like dropped, like, oh yeah, I'm leaving. Yeah,
basically we have two. And one is potentially leaving / retiring / they really haven't confirmed nor denied it. So, but his company has.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, from what I've heard, I don't know. Again, it's, news and politics and all that fun stuff. But anyway, let's get into the bigger one, which we know is actually true. And that would be the big, and the one that we kind of did see coming. The writing was kind of on the wall with this, but that is Jae from Day6 officially leaving the group and officially leaving JYP. He officially terminated his contract on December 31st, 2021. Basically saying he was taking time off of Day6 and hoping to return to work with members when they came back from military service.
Which is kind of contradictory because from what JYP said, he said he's no longer part of Day6. So let's say DY6, Day6 and JYP altogether. It's like, okay, so I'm not quite sure who to believe in here. And I thought, before the whole thing just blew out of water with what he did. I kind of had this hope it's going to be another GOT7. He may have terminated his contract, but he can still work with Day6 on the project.
And that's kind of what I was hoping for too, because that was the whole thing with GOT7 when GOT7 finally left JYP, that they still got to keep the name and they all went off to their separate agencies, but they can still come back and do GOT7 work whenever they want to do, whenever they are able to find time, because right now all 7 of them are currently exploring different avenues. But it's kind of conflicting because Jay said he wanted to still do stuff with Day6, but it sounds like officially from JYP, he's out at Day6. So, but we really won't know until after military service is complete, because for all we know, for all intents and purposes, Day6 is on hiatus because of most of the members being in the military at this point. I think there's only one who's currently still hasn't enlisted, but he's going to enlist soon. So, so at this point, it's kind of up in the air of what the future Day6 will be. And at this point, it's still going to be it's going to be a good 1.5, 2 years before we know what's going to be the future of Day6, unless we see some unit work or something from them in the future. But I don't know what to make from that. But it just was kind of interesting because of how the timing that worked too. Because it sounded like originally his contract was terminated, and then it was he was leaving he was pausing from Day6, and then it was announced his contract got terminated. So it was within a few hours of one another. So it was just really kind of confusing on the timing and on that kind of stuff too, how everything got announced. And what's notable about this too is that Jay's been kind of hinting at this for a while. We talked about this in the past on episodes, because Jay's been kind of out, taking a break away from Day6 for a little bit. I mean, he was kind of back on their last comeback towards the summer of last year. But he's been taking a break because he's had some mental health crises that he's been dealing with, and some because he has a bit of a panic disorder. But he's also had some instances where he's had some harsh media criticisms of him. And I think a lot of that came from just him doing his live streaming and stuff, because while he was off not doing stuff with Day6, he was being really active on Twitch, and he was doing Twitch live streams. He's actually become a pretty popular Twitch live streamer, part of a pretty prominent video game community over on Twitch. But he would also open his mouth quite a bit and say some relatively stupid things. I mean, it's also to know for people too, Jay is from America, Jay is from LA. So his cultural awareness might not be quite as aware. Obviously for us, me and Ginny as Westerners, we might be a little more comfortable with some of the stuff he's said. I know he made some weird, like some like kind of like, like more innocuous, like stuff we make when you're like playing with your friends on Twitch, like jokes and stuff, like, but I could see how some people could have taken it out of context. But for a Korean audience, I could see them obviously why they kind of latched onto it. And well, also at that point too, it's a very heavily cancel culture kind of type situation. Cause I mean, we have a whole history of stuff he's said on Twitch. Like,
right.
I mean, but he said that whole sugar daddy joke.
And made like some kind of like the indecent dumb gesture right after that.
Yeah, because that was the big one that really caused him a lot of controversy. That was actually what caused him originally to have to shut down his Twitch channel, because he had a Twitch channel and then that had to get shut down towards like, it was like the early summer last year, after all that and stuff. So, but he's also made some other, dumb comments, like he's made some ignorant comments about neurodivergent people and stuff. So like he's one of those people like who doesn't really think, I think, before he speaks. Unfortunately,
yeah, and a lot of it, like how he makes his statements, or like how he talks, it feels like almost like childish, or like he doesn't like he doesn't like think before he like acts on what he's about to say. And the thing is, he's almost gonna be 30, and like we all think he would like know better, or like know the responsibility of like coming up with a very mature like thing to say. But it's like because all this time I thought he was like 25. Like I would have given a bit more slack if he was like 25 or like younger. But for him to be almost 30, I was like, why are you still saying this? Like, oh, you sound like a dumb kid.
Right. You think, especially too, also being somebody who is in the public atmosphere and who does have a bit of a spotlight on you, like you would think you'd be a little bit more cautious with your words and a little bit more, I don't know, like a little bit more
careful, just a little or like,
yeah, something like that. Cause it's just, you gotta be really kind of more careful about what you're saying. Cause I mean, again, you're in the public limelight, like the stuff you're going to say and the stuff you're going to do is going to be criticized, by your, by hate lovers and haters. So
yeah, it's gonna stick onto you, because the internet, like whatever you say, whatever you post, it's gonna stick on, no matter how you try to delete it. It's gonna haunt you for like the rest of your life if you said something that's wrong, or something that's this asinine.
Yeah, let's say the internet never forgets.
Then this recent one, it's gonna people are gonna like
this recent one too from over the weekend here, is we're recording this on the 10th of January here. So this actually happened over the weekend, this previous weekend, with actually pretty much a former label mate and a friend of his, because they did him and Jamie actually have a podcast together?
Yeah, I think they were together during like the they were on studios, and they do like some stuff, like activities together. Yeah, there.
Right. Yeah. So his former label mate, Jamie, or Jimin Park, she's also known by her solo stage name Jamie. She's formerly also from JYP. She's a very good soloist. Again, highly recommend checking out some of her solo work. She's got an amazing
She's North American
voice.
Too, right?
I believe so. I believe Jamie is North American. I know she's done stuff obviously with After School Club, and then obviously she's got the podcast over on Dive Studios that she's done stuff over on Dive Studios too, and she's done a bunch of other stuff too. But this whole thing boggles my mind because of what Jay said, and I'm just like, dude, how did you not know what the hell a thought means? Because that's become kind of part of the common lexicon now. Yeah, and the fact you called Jamie a thought when she's gone through sexual harassment, and it's been very public about her going through so much sexual harassment in her past.
She's struggling on being sexualized, throughout the years, and then. You didn't really consider like her past struggles, and then just casually say like, oh, she's like, why is she a thought?
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
No,
and just, okay, Yeah, just to put in context, like he was doing like a like a live stream, and then I think someone brought up Jamie, like, oh, you guys gonna do a collab in the future? And so what he said is like, oh, well, since I'm not in K-pop anymore, why is Jamie being a thought? And then he was like trying to like say, yeah, that's right, I said it. Tell her. And then he kind of backed it up. It's like, okay, I'm just kidding. We're good friends. We always like dance to each other, like say each other, like call each other names, kind of like that. So, it's like, we're good friends. Like she's a good, good singer and all of that. But yeah,
the fact you have to preface what you're saying was, well, I'm not in K-pop anymore, should mean you shouldn't say that in the first place. Like, come on, like. Just think before you speak, dude. Like, come on, you're almost 30. Like, Jamie's younger than you, and you're calling her a fucking thought. Like, oh, it's just so aggravating.
And the thing is, like, during the live stream and during his apology, he was trying to explain, like, he doesn't know like the difference between a thought and a baddie. Because in his mindset, in his mindset, he said like, isn't like a thought like equivalent to like being like a baddie, like someone who's like a badass like female, It's like, but you're from. I thought like you would like from a North American, like you thought you would know better that a thought means that hoe over there, meaning like you're describing someone who is promiscuous and doing a lot of sleeping around with like a lot of men. You really didn't know the context for it, and I don't know. He kind of sounds drunk and high, but there's an excuse that like he would get to like blab that out. Yeah, but just, like the video, like how he acts, like he sounds either high or drunk.
Yeah, and I mean, Jamie basically called him out on Twitter in tweets that are now been deleted. But she basically called him out on Twitter, and there was an exchange on Twitter, which is, again, all these tweets are now deleted. And from what it sounds like, she kind of like she was livid. She was very, very livid.
Yeah, she was hurt by it, and because Jay said, "Oh, like no, we're gonna be cool with that." Like he thinks that it's like okay for him to say you call her a thought, behind her, without her there, without her being present. Yeah, right. I think that's like the difference with like the environment. Like I think he probably didn't know it. Like it'd be better if you guys were there, or like you guys like guys call each other like privately with that. But with us, like to a lot of strangers that you don't know on Twitch, and just to say that behind her back, listen, like is not a good look on him. And it's kind of like you putting her into like a negative light. Just by him describing her as a thought.
Yeah, it's so mind-boggling. And like I know like idols go through all this image training and stuff, and like if I don't know if like they go through enough of it, or like sometimes they just forget, or like he didn't, or like what, like like I understand like
take it or didn't really
take
any value for it.
Right, exactly. And like especially because he's done this again over and over and over. And so he has said, plenty of stupid shit in the past. So it's like, dude, like, and especially because like I've seen idols do have live streams who have, who've been able to at least kind of like have like actually pretty like legit conversations. I will point to Chan's room from Bang Chan from Stray Kids, who does the live stream every week and who has pretty invigorating conversations with his audience with stays during his show every week. As he talks to the audience in both Korean and English. And, and I've seen, I mean, it's mostly funny because he just talks a lot with his hands and stuff, but, and a lot of times, sometimes he's like, occasionally just like mind buffering, moments, but, there's lots of compilations of just the craziness that happens on Bang Chan's room.
Or take even like Mark Twan from GOT7 as an example. Like he may be out of like JYP, and I think he like at least even though he knows like he has more liberation to like express himself more and all that, he still he still tries to avoid like talking like, talking criticisms or, making criticisms of his former, former label, didn't say shit about, JYP, or didn't talk trash to any of his like members or former label mates. It's like, he knows better, like, how to act and how to like, be more humble about it.
Like, sit down and be humble.
I know with Jay, like, I know he's talked about his struggles, his personal struggles, under JYP, and yes, we totally understand, and like, how a lot of people support like idols, like talking, expressing about their mental health. And I feel like this is not any way for me to like defend Jay in any manner, but I think he's kind of taking his like his struggles with mental health and it like taking it out and like in a more negative tone. It's like he's like lashing out, and like it feels like he's like lashing out, just saying whatever he wants, because I'm not quite sure. I think like he's more it feels more broken, that
it feels like he's kind of using, like, and I don't want to portray anything. It's just, this is just what I'm getting. These are the messages I'm getting as I see these being portrayed by him through the different live streams he's had on Instagram, just through the different clips I've seen through Twitter, and just through all the different things. It's just like he's kind of used it, but then he's using mental health. And like, again, mental health is such a legit thing. And like, he has struggled with it. He's always struggled with
he's had like a panic disorder,
panic disorder for a long time. But he's also, I feel like he's kind of leaning on it as a crutch a little bit too, and kind of eliciting sympathy from his fans. Because obviously, fans will be the first ones to kind of, be this whole like feeding of like, no, you're okay, you're right, you're fine, you're everything. But like, you also need to listen to learn to the criticism too, because the criticism is very important for your growth and for you to, be able to become a better person in a way, grow from the situation. And I don't know if he's quite been able to do that after every situation he's been in.
Understood or like reflected on it, like genuinely.
Right. So
I feel like he's like doubling down on his like behavior as well. And like, it's like, when he told him like, it's wrong. And then it's like, screw you guys, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Well, and now that he's not tied to an agency, now he's just like, well, now I don't have to do, what I can do whatever I want, because I'm not tied to an agency anymore. So screw it all. But that still reflects on your image, and that can still chase away potential fans, and fans who, aren't going to be completely like selflessly devoted to you. Like, there are people who have brains like me and Ginny here who see this and are just turned off by it. So it's just like, leaves a really bad sour taste in our mouths when people act like this, and they act very immaturely for their ages, and are just, especially, acting in this very, very almost like is almost slightly incelish in a way, the way he acted in this whole situation, especially in this whole internet bro culture. We've kind of been seeing as of late. And I mean, and the thing that worries me too is there's a lot of that too in Korea. There's a lot of this very, very almost incelish culture kind of harboring in Korea, because there has been a feminist movement in Korea, but then there's also been this huge backlash on that. And it's been this growth of this really big kind of almost incelish, very male dominant, like to fight against, women trying to be, I guess, fight for better treatment of themselves in Korea. So that I've seen. And I mean, that's a whole discussion for a whole nother day that I could get into, because the whole culture of that is just quite fascinating. And being in a very patriarchal society that Korea is, because it's a very male dominated society.
I don't think I don't see like Jay being like a misogynistic figure, but like from like what like all the careless things he said, it's still gonna enable a lot of like people, or like people with sexist views to like latch onto that. I was like, yeah, he's right. Like, Jamie is a thought. So, it's like, it's still irresponsible for him to, like, put out like these types of words, on a friend of most of all, on a friend. Like, if you've been friends with her for a long time, and just to have her like throw her out like that, that's that's almost like it's like a betrayal, in some form.
Yeah, it makes me wonder like how their friendship is going to be moving forward too, because they have been very good friends, and like this is something that just kind of makes you kind of almost step back and like look at your friendship and be like, dude, like what are you doing? What are you saying? Like, kind of situation, at least in my mind. So, I don't know. It's kind of a mess because like I'm hoping for Jae to like smarten up, especially because he's going to have to start making the hustle as a solo artist, especially if he wants to promote and do things on his own, because it's hard to obviously, do it on your own. I mean, we've kind of heard about a little bit from Eric Nam himself, because Eric Nam has been very open about him, creating his own label and doing his own thing on his own. And it's hard work to do, and to be successful at it too. So it'll be very interesting to see where Jae's future goes from here, honestly.
Yeah, and
especially if he keeps saying stupid shit.
Yeah, and I know he said like his apology, but people are still not like buying it as something like it's genuine. And like I've seen I was like scrolling on the comments, and people were like saying like, dude, just like personally, I don't know where he is. I think he's in LA. Just personally apologize to to Jamie, or just like talk to talk to her, and if you're really sorry about it. It sucks how like I don't know if like they're gonna like still go on, or like there's gonna be forgiveness with that, but like with the internet, like there's no forgiveness. Like it's execute, like judge, jury, executioner type of mindset.
Again, the internet never forgets. But
I do hope like I do hope like Jae needs to like take his time off from social media or from Twitch altogether.
Yeah.
And I really hope he seeks help. Like
Yeah,
and,
I do too.
And like hopefully like a lot of K-pop agencies will take, like, I don't know if they're gonna like be paying attention to this news, but they really like really take like the image training as like a crucial thing, because like no matter what they're gonna do or act, it's gonna fans will get easily pissed. So it's really take into like the image training into face value,
which again, it's a big thing, but there are positives to it. So but
and there's a lot of like restrictions with image, but it's really important for you if you have to act like a fool in the spotlight.
Right. But I guess speaking of problematic Jae, should we go into our other problematic Jae that might potentially be retiring from the Korean music scene? Maybe.
Well, the news said that he is so the next topic will be another Jae Park, but it's spelled Jay Park, formerly known as a member back then at 2PM under JYP, and after that he moved on to do like solo work, and then was able to build like an empire of like K-hip hop, establishing two labels, which is Higher Music and AOMG. I don't know how long he's been like has it been CEO from those two companies, but as of right now, he announced it seems like he announced that he'll be stepping down as CEO from both AOMG and Higher Music. And there has been also like hints from his tweets, but it's not confirmed yet, that he might be just retiring from music altogether, because from what he said was like, if I ever retire or like disappear completely, just make sure to miss me, or like paraphrasing that tweet.
Right.
So and also like
he dropped and he just dropped randomly on New Year's Day, he just dropped a new song and was kind of just like, peace out. kind of on that. But then some like other people around him, like with AOMG and Higher Music, were like, no, he's not officially, like they've said he's not retiring. He's still serving as an advisor with us, but he's not retiring. He's supposedly supposed to drop some more music later in the year, but it's kind of cryptic in terms of like what he's actually doing right now. But I mean, he's been in hot water for plenty of things, especially a lot of his appropriation of Black culture in Korea.
Yeah, like okay, like with Jae Park, he's like a very known figure in both K-pop and hip hop because like he really did push for like a more hip hop genre in the Korean music industry. But yeah, like okay, like he has been successful in his own venue and like he's such an influential figure. But also with that also comes with a lot of years of like controversy and also like stupid like remarks, ignorant remarks from like him as well. It's there's so many like lists that we can like mention. I know with him he also like had like his own bad relationship when it comes to with JYP. It was like almost similar as like Jae Park from Day6, and he also made like ignorant like statements. Like I think I don't know if he said this in a song, but he said this like oh yeah.
And what's also to know too, that like he had to leave. He was originally the leader of 2PM, and he had to leave 2PM because of shit he had said on his Twitter, like some pretty ignorant stuff he had said on his Twitter. Back when he like lived in Seattle, because Jae is from Seattle. Jae Park here is from Seattle, and but because he had said some pretty. Actually, I think he said some pretty bad things about like Korean culture. I think, and then that had like stirred up a lot of.
It pissed off a lot of like Koreans, and it told him like, yeah, if you don't like it, get out of Korea.
Yeah, and he basically at that point was out of 2PM, and 2PM went on to become a very, very popular group. Obviously, actually, hilariously enough, this is like right before Heartbeat came out, and that became like one of their like best known songs. Like really shot them to start fame and stardom. So, but. After that, then he started his label and started, his hip hop career and him pushing for the hip hop scene in Korea. And really, again, he did help push a lot of the hip hop into Korea. But also, again, he's had a lot of instances where he's appropriated Black culture, where he's kind of been one of those things where people have called him out plenty of times, where he's like the things he said, he's dropped the N-word a plenty of times, dressed a lot in that way, like a lot of the mannerisms where you think, you're acting like, you're a cool hip hop person, but it's very much still, like, the characterization of, ghetto Black.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's, a lot of people have called him out on it. Repeatedly too. So it's just and it's been repeated throughout his career too. So
yeah, I mean, he's also an additional thing, like he also pissed off like some Muslim fans because I think one of his songs had him say "worship me like Allah." So that was a bad move on him too, and it like offended a lot of like Muslims. Putting himself in that kind of like that. And in that stage, just as it's also like a reckless thing he's done. But the cultural appropriation was like one of his biggest flaws that he's done in his career.
Yeah. So I mean, it's and like I said, and like I think he just had another issue last year where he got called out again for a cultural appropriation for like him and his label mates for like how they were acting on a music video, and like they were definitely
and what they're wearing too,
what they were wearing and how they were acting and how they were talking, and a lot of people were calling him out on Twitter about this. I mean, it was pretty bad. Like it was making like articles. I know there were a lot of articles talking about it. It's just like it's so mind-boggling. Like, he keeps getting called out for this.
He doubles
time
down
and
on
time
it,
again.
and he doubles down on his on social media, and makes it even worse for him.
Yeah, and just it almost makes it kind of worse because the fact that he does double down on it so much, and it's one of those common things. It's like hard separating the music from the artist because like he has had some good hip hop, but
it's so hard like listening to his music because it's like so hard like separating the art from like the artist and like the personality behind it. And just like he's like he's a talented rapper, like producer, like even a singer too, but it's just like his behavior makes it hard for us to like support or even want to listen to his music. But even so, like his lame excuse of like when people call him out for appropriation, he was like saying, oh, so like why is it okay for like the non-Koreans or non-Asians to be saying like Korean terms like oppa or like doing mukbang specials? It's like, how is that different from like the severity of like taking one's culture? With with a lot of people not from like non-Asians like doing mukbang, it's nothing that's like tied to like traditional or any like historical significance to it.
I mean, mukbangs are relatively a new thing, and those are kind of becoming a worldwide thing because those have become a thing almost around the whole entire world that people do mukbangs, and it's just become mukbangs just become like a word like now known through all the worlds. Because
it originated from Korea, but many people do it now. It's not, no one's wearing a hanbok or something, or no one is like doing something that's like taking Korean, like importing Korean culture and traditions.
And no one's speaking speaking horrible Korean or like bastardizing Korean into it, or dressing in hanbok, or taking those kinds of things where a lot of people, have pointed to rap, obviously taking a lot of the stuff that's from Black culture, like curls and stuff like that, and then how that's changed. And and it's hard for me to say this as a white person, as the whitest white person. Well, I'm not the whitest white person, but I'm pretty white. But my boyfriend's like, no, I cannot make that argument either, because I can't make that argument either. Anyway, but it's still. It's still in my mind just isn't if like it's such a stupid argument for him to make that. And it's just like I said, it's so hard because like I remember listening to the music, I'm like, this is some pretty like awesome like hip hop rap, and then to find out about his character and to find out about like all his problematic like shit he said, and it's just like it's really hard to separate the artist from the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's very troublesome.
Yeah, it's also like another thing that I didn't make it. I saw and heard from like other opinions is like, yes, like I know like you're trying to like make some or like show your appreciation for hip hop, but why do you have to associate it with like like the negative aspects of like from from like the African American cultures, like the ghetto stereotype, right? Like you can like do it without like acting in that way. You can like still make really great like music and do like hip hop, but without like showing like those stereotypes in there. It's like it's really he really didn't really think it out through.
Yeah, no, he never really did, and it's disappointing that he's never been able to kind of distinguish
own
that.
Up to it. Yeah,
or own up to it. I mean, I again, another young guy. Well, I mean, he's older than he's older than me. Because he's 34. But, but yeah, I mean, and again, I don't know what to make of this news because again, like it's conflicting things. It's like, is he retired? Is he not retired? What's going on? Like it's kind of, I mean, he stepped down from his 2 record labels that he's created and basically was the CEO of. And it's just serving as basically an advisor role now. So who's to know what he's going to do, if he is going to come back and make new music, if he wants to focus back on the music, what he wants to do right now, if he wants to go back into production, like what he's going to do, or if he's actually going to retire, because you just know, like, he has so many associated acts under his labels. He has so many deals. He's so well connected in the hip hop scene, both in Korea and in America. So, you know, it's a lot of things, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, like, what his future and ventures will be, if he's going to be retiring completely. So I don't want to, like, say but wish him the best of luck, because, like, we'll see what
we don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what he's going to do and see if he'll be changed as a new person.
Turn over a new leaf or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Potentially, I don't know, but
yeah, we'll keep an eye on what's going to happen.
We'll keep an eye. We'll put a pin in this conversation. We'll keep an eye on this, and we'll let you know if there's anything that changes. But we should actually get into our album reviews and get out of all this depressing talk of problematic people in K-pop, and get into the stuff we like to talk about, and that's the music. And I guess let's get into the reviews for the week and get into the music.
Right.
and what's our bread and butter, but and I guess we're gonna probably we start with our first review, the group that was supposed to debut back in December, but unfortunately due to COVID wasn't able to debut in December and had to push their debut back to I guess to January here, and that's the new girl group Kep1er, which
they finally made their first impact on the music scene. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Sorry about the pun. Sorry, wow. I was like thinking about it. I was like, I need to get that out.
I was going to use that. I was going to use that for the blurb, but that's okay. I'll still use it. Haha.
Yeah, it's puns. You're going to make your boy proud.
Oh God, he loves it. Anyway, he loves my puns. Well. It's like, as he says, intend your puns. But for those of you wondering what the big deal about Kep1er is. So Kep1er basically, actually the way it's stylized is Kep1er. Why, I'm not 100% sure why they have that stylized like that, but they do. But basically, they are formulated because of the survival show Girls Planet 999. And they are formed out of the 9 winners from the show Girls Planet 999. And what's to know, too, is a bunch of the members previously have been active in other groups. Most notably, Yujin, who was part of CLC before she left the group, is now part of the Kep1er, as well as Yeso was actually part of the younger group. She's part of a kid girl group called QDL before
really?
She's part of another group called Busters in 2019. Though that group, I think she left that group in 2020.
That was her name. Okay, so we have like Yujin, and what is the other name? The second one?
Yeso.
Yeso, okay.
Yeso, yeah.
Wrong. Yeah,
that's okay. And then trying to think the other one, because there's the notes too in this group. There's Korean members as well as Chinese and Japanese members too. Because the way Girls Planet 999 was set up is they kind of were trying to do just like global girl group, although it was just Korean,
East
Chinese,
Asian, East Asian,
East Asian global group. Although to note too, one of the members of the group is the younger sister of TXT member Hunin Kai.
Which I found out like just like a couple of days ago. Like, oh, she's the sister. I'm like, Hunin Kai.
Which I kind of facepalmed when I realized that. So.
Yeah, I was like, okay, because I even know it's like, wow, she kind of looks, like biracial, because she looks like half white, like when I saw the video, and then I was scrolling down Facebook, and then like I saw like her full name Hunin, like Hunin. Wait, she's related to Hunin Kai, and I know I checked, like his siblings is Hunin by I don't know how to pronounce her name.
I think I think is how you pronounce her name.
Yeah.
But yeah, But to know too, like a lot of the members have had their feet in the entertainment or have been trainees at different agencies before they competed on Girls Planet 999, and then there was a lot of the voting and stuff too that happened. Although again, there might have been some shady shit because again, Mnet. But anyway, but with that, but they have finally debuted as a group. They originally were supposed to debut again on December 14th. But because of Mashiro and Zhaoting had tested positive for COVID actually on December 14th. Because originally some of their crew had tested positive, and then a couple of the members.
Yeah, got it.
And then a couple of them had tested positive, so that's why they were had to push back the debut. So, but they've all fully recovered, thankfully. So that's why they're able to debut, and now they're here with their first debut album, First Impact, as Ginny had mentioned before, with their title track "Wadada" as their title track. And I'm not gonna lie, like I dig it. Like I really, really dig Wadada, like for a title track, like as a debut title track. For somebody who didn't really watch Girls Planet 999, because no lie, I was burnt out from Kingdom.
And also, I don't like survival shows in general.
Yeah, I don't like survival shows
heartbreaks.
at all.
Yeah, so many heartbreaks and letdowns. But
yeah,
and I was instantly hooked too. I think on the first reaction, I was like already like, yeah, I dig it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, like there's just something very fun to it, like super EDM, it's super EDM heavy. Which I mean, I thought it would be more like, I don't know why in my mind I thought it would be more bubblegum pop heavy.
Yeah,
maybe
it's really bubbly and vibrant. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be more like in the bubblegum pop, like Twice, like vein of things. I don't know why in my head I thought it was going to be like that with Kep1er. That's maybe just because of what I had seen from clips from Girls Planet 999. But I was really happy to see it more EDM style. I mean, there are a couple tracks that are a little bit more bubblegum pop on the album itself. But I mean, for the title track itself for Wadada, like I really, really enjoyed it. Like just how like a bunch of really got into it.
Fun. Yeah, how catchy and fun like the song and like the themes around it is. Yeah, when I first heard like how like the music is produced and how it sounds like, it's like it sounds like something that ITZY and Loona would produce or like have in their songs.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's in that fourth generation kind of vein of sound we've been seeing, especially with ITZY. I could totally see ITZY doing something like this. Especially we go into the first intro track, See the Light. Like I really do like how See the Light goes right into Wadada. Like it really gets you ready for the title track, and it gets you just pumped right away. Like it literally makes the first impact, for lack of a better term.
Uh-huh.
But it's fun. Like I like bopping my head to it. Like I really like it. And for somebody who's tends to not really go with a lot of girl group stuff, who tends to lean more with the guy groups. Sorry, that's my jam, but that's my jam. Like I can see myself like playing this like on and on, like putting this on my my daily list and stuff. Like I really dug this.
Yeah, like, I was even doing that thumb thing that they do at the dance choreography, like yeah, I can like you only hear like the audio, but I'm like doing that thumb thing and like the like.
Oh, you do that little thumb thing.
Yeah. Like how do they do it? I'm like doing this like.
Yeah, and like they really are able to like blend their voices together really well. Like they really have.
Oh yeah.
Polished them together very well into, I think, what's going to be a very successful group, kind of like as One was, I think. And that kind of vein of thing. I mean, I'm not sure if Kep1er is going to be in one of those like limited term groups.
I feel like it is, but I'm not sure like how long they're going to be like together until like their contract terminates.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure how long the contract actually is for Kep1er. But I do foresee a lot of success with this group because, like, yeah, this is something I could totally get myself behind, and I do dig it. So
yeah, and even like even when like the music video and the album came out, like it blasted off. Sorry, another pun intended. Blasted off into another like records. Yeah, like I don't know if you got like what they like accomplished, but I know like they've really like set like a lot of records and in their debut, which is very impressive. And it's like wow, it's putting a lot of like competition, not really, but like a lot of like shedding more light with like new, yeah, not pressure, but like because we got I've oh excuse me, we got I've like a couple of months ago, and they had like a really successful debut. And now, and now with Kep1er, so it's going to be interesting in how much they're going to play out.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how their career trajectory does take off, and how they are going to continue on with the labels that they're under, because it's technically they're under Wake One and Swing Entertainment. That's the labels that are handling them right now, as they are now officially on the scene. And so we'll see, I guess, just how the future does really hold for them. But this really came out as a solid debut, and I'm actually interested to see if they're going to pick up wins. I have a feeling they're going to pick up quite a few wins with this debut.
Oh, yeah. But with a lot of with a lot of compacts, it's going to be so hard. It's going to be a tough competition with the compact that we have right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And with stuff that's still charting from last year too, that's been killing, because I know IVE is still killing with the music show wins as of late. That's been a debut to watch. Keep an eye out for IVE, everybody. As we talked about them last year. We have some girl groups who are really coming out swinging right now. Any of the other songs on the album that you really, really liked? Like I said, I really like See the Light, the first track.
It's a good introduction of I love a good introduction tracks to, groups. Yeah, I know and Hypeman has done a lot of it.
Yes.
I like this one too.
Mm-hmm.
We are Kep1er or something. I'm something like that. I'm doing it wrong. But yeah, See the Light.
Like a twice introduction. I felt like from that, but thankfully. But I like the blending. It was Daisy Girls. I like that too. I like Stacy a lot. But I like the transition from See the Light into Wada.
Oh yeah.
Really,
oh my god,
smoothly transitions in.
I'm so happy I got the ad block because I don't want to get my the flow just break from an ad.
Oh god!
I need to get an ad block, guys. Get an ad block to appreciate the flow of if you're listening to an album.
And then I did also really like the last track on the album, because the last three tracks on the albums are the Kep1er versions of a couple songs they did on Girls Planet 999. I really liked was it Oh Over and Over and Over, because there's something about that reminds me a lot of Girls' Generation, I Need a Boy, it really, because of how it's mashed up, it reminds me a lot of that. Showcasing these different tempos and breakdowns and styles throughout, and it's really ranged really well, and I really like it. So I'm really, like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing where Kep1er's gonna go. I'm actually highly invested in a girl group. Well, I'm invested in a couple girl groups, but this one's really I'm getting invested in.
Yeah, with IVE and then Kep1er, this is the groups that I want to be looking forward to, for new girl groups. And for my favorite B-side, other than See the Light, I also liked the track Mask, but it's spelled MVSK capitalized. What I like about this song and a lot of the tracks, because they have a consistency in having this certain house club dance element into their music. And I love how, I also love how they would, I don't know if they did it intentionally, but they have this essence of this, they're upbeat, or no, excuse me. They have this essence of a space, a space theme ambience into their music. It does you're in space, but it's more a really girly girl group theme.
Mm-hmm.
into like the concept, which they really did well on. Even like some like their slower songs like have like this space, a bit of like a space opera. Like if you listen to like the 60s like space like theme music, it kind of has like that feeling like you're going up in space. I kind of like had like this, and I had it noted down as like it's like a space popera. It's like pop and opera.
Oh, I
that's
like
what I'm gonna call it. It's called space popera.
I like that. Well, and like it makes sense too with the name Kep1er, because it's kind of based on like their name's based on the astronomer Kepler.
Right.
So, and again, they're basing again on the show Girls Planet 999, which kind of had this space-ish, kind of had a space-ish theme to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch the show. I can neither confirm nor deny this. But yeah, it seems like they're kind of going with this like, kind of space-ish theme with their sound and their style. So it's been very interesting to see that kind of combined with everything too. So.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like okay, this is like a random thing. Are you familiar with the kid show Atomic Betty? Like, do you know about that name before?
It sounds I think I remember that theme.
It's like a girl like who goes into space and like fights alien bad guys, and she has like this really retro like Jetsons like spacesuit.
Yes,
I feel like
I remember that show now.
Yeah, I feel like it's something like you can use like this music over like Atomic Betty, because it's like really girl power, but it also like has like the fun upbeat like space themes into it. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, listening to the whole album, like, no, they could put it on Atomic Betty. Why do I still remember that show? I don't know.
No, I'm like, now that you brought that up, I'm like, no, that works fine actually, because it kind of has like that like kind of like it was like this like future retro-ish look, you know what I mean? Like the Jetsons was.
Yeah, so, totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, like I said, it's this, like I said, between Kep1er and I've like two girl groups, like we're going to have to keep an eye out, and already a really packed fourth generation, girl group race, like we have, again, like with ITZY and Everglow and Stacy. Like there's so many amazing girl groups out there right now. And even Purple Kiss is out there making some great music. There's a lot of really good girl groups out there right now that really deserve listens. I mean, Try B, which I finally started listening more to after Chris's recommendations after our end of the year. Really digging Try B. There's a lot out there, you guys, for girl groups to really go check out. That's making not just bubblegum pop, music that you think typical girl groups would do. There's a lot of nice variety out there. That you can find something that suits your taste. So
even they mix in because there's two spectrums of a girl group. There's either like the bubble pop or the girl crush, like it's all like punky and it's all like like badass like designs. I like how they have like a lot of groups are able to like balance out and like mix those two elements together. Like ITZY is like the best example for it. So I really like the balance to it too.
I do too. I appreciate that balance because you get a little bit of both, because then you're not just stuck down one lane. So, but yeah, I guess let's move on to our next song, which I guess technically is a song because it's only a single. Other girl group we're talking about this week, and it's another debut, technically, I guess. And technically they released this back on the 31st because they kind of performed this for a New Year's Eve concert with SM. But we're talking about
Express,
but we're talking about Girls on Top, or GOT.
GOT, not Game of Thrones or GOT7. Which is when I saw the name, like, it kind of sounds really close to GOT7 or Game of Thrones. Like, oh shit. If we're gonna be talking about certain topics, are we talking about GOT7 or are we talking Game of Thrones? Now we're talking about the girl group.
No, we're talking about the girl group GOT. I know that's we're gonna have to I've also seen them stylized as GOT. I've also seen them stylized as GOT the Beat. That's actually how they're stylized on Spotify.
Actually, okay, so just to explain, so with Girls on Top, so this is the first super girl group, K-pop, but it's gonna be the second super group from SM Entertainment after they did Super M. So this is like the female counterpart for Super M.
Yes.
And so they took a lot of female members from different girl groups from SM. So from Girls' Generation to Red Velvet and into aespa, and including the first generation soloist Boa. And so like they combine together to create Girls on Top. Now the interesting thing is, since they're trying to like differentiate like their concept from like Super M's Avengers futuristic concepts. Their thing is that they will be similar to NCTU, where their lineup will be rotational. So like the members that we have right now, this is going to change, for other comebacks. So we're going to have maybe like Irene or Giselle from aespa, being in like this project. So there's a lot of possibilities for it to, have a lot of like members being involved in this, and it puts a lot of more intrigue for like people to like see, oh, who's going to be in like the next comeback. So since it's going to be a rotational like the unit, Got the Beat is like the first group name for like the current members. So we have Boa again from first generation of K-pop, Taeyeon and Hyoyeon from Girls' Generation, which they're in the second generation of K-pop. Sugi and Wendy from third generation Red Velvet, and then Karina and Winter from aespa, fourth gen. So right now they're called Got the Beat because that's their own like group name, group subunit name. So yeah,
so that's the subunit. That's the official subunit that we're dealing with. Yeah. Currently right now with this
so maybe song, the next comeback, if we have like a new team, is going to be what? Got the blank.
Who knows at this rate? It's SM. We don't know.
Got the rhythm. Got the rhythm.
Got the sound. I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna like put in a lot of names, like to like really fit in. I hope they don't run out.
Yeah, I know that's the one thing. It's like hope you don't run out of names over your subunits.
Whatever. Got the whatever.
But we're talking about the track Step Back, which, like I said, they performed on their SM New Year's Eve concert. Was I think SM? Oh, how do they call it? Because it was this whole thing in the Kwangya, apparently.
Yeah, the Kwangya. They call it the Kwangya Express Winter Concert. So they really are pushing like the Kwangya narrative into like the forefront here.
Yeah, because it was a whole thing where they had like a lot of the SM groups were performing on New Year's Eve, and it was like a lot of stuff was kind of like pre-recorded and stuff, and it was just like a bunch of like performances like throughout.
Yeah,
but
it's made for free too. It's like a high-end production, so I was like, wow, it's not very surprising for SM, but like a lot of like their stuff that they put out. I was like, it's really impressive to see like their production wise.
Oh, it always is. But I wanted to know what you thought about Step Back and your thoughts, at least on this subunit of we've got.
So because when I heard like there's gonna be like a super group by SM and it's gonna be like the female counterpart of Super M, I was trying to think like, oh man, so like are they gonna like have like some kind of Avengers and our Avengers like theme, like are they gonna be like the A-Force of like K-pop? If you guys don't know A-Force, nerd talking, it's like the female Avengers in Marvel Comics. Anyways, so I thought it's gonna be like that type of like style, but when I saw like the stage performance, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of like surprising. It feels more like a ritual, satanic, cultish theme that they have, because they have like at the beginning with the ominous Gregorian chants that they have, and like,
oh no, it's turning to Mama from EXO again.
Oh no, hear this. Hear this. Yeah, and then, the whole beat overall, it feels so much like I felt like this song was supposed to be for Super M, but since they're like kind of inactive because like members are in in the military, they kind of gave that to Super M Girls on Top. It feels like the beat really sounds like a boy group it feels like a more boy group than like, girl group, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say that because it definitely sounds like it was made for, it sounds like it was made for Super M because it definitely has more of like a boy group arrangement to it.
Yeah, and it's like really hard hitting, and it's like, yeah, it's really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in terms of like how like the song and like the music is delivered. Yeah, another thing that like made me believe that this song was supposed to be for Super M is just like the arrangements of what the member, or like, well, like how the member is singing like from each part of the song. Because I feel like for Boa, she's like the equivalent of Taemin. In Super M, like not only is she like in the center of like the in the dance choreography, but she also like like even like comparing them as like really like talented like performers and dancers and singers, but they also like at the final R&B bridge of the song, when it like quiets down to like that really melodic R&B, and that usually Taemin would sing that part in Super M, and then for here it was Boa who had like that that slow down R&B bridge going into the final chorus. So that's why like, yeah, that's totally like a Taemin thing. And another like point was with Taeyeon. She's like the equivalent for Baekhyun. It's funny because the two dated before. Yeah, so like she was the one who did like the belting out of like into the final chorus. It's like yeah, and then like,
well, and we know she can belt. So that's the thing. We know she can belt.
Many of like the group in here are just like strong vocalists. So yeah, so like, yes, when she like belted out like the high note in the final chorus, it's like that is what Baekhyun did in every Super M song. Every Super M title track is him just like vocalizing at the end of the chorus, like to reach the climax. Yeah,
like, yeah. I can't do it. I just, it's something similar to that though.
Yeah, we're not good singers.
I'm not a professional singer. I'm not a professional singer.
No, I'm kidding.
Similar, but not exactly, but similar.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, those are like the things that I noticed when it comes to comparing like with them and Super M. So it was like it's really interesting to like you see like I can totally see those those factors in.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like there's obviously a lot of similarities, and we're probably going to draw a lot of similarities because again, they are both technically quote unquote super groups from SM Entertainment, and it's hard not to draw comparisons to make it like that. But yeah, I mean, it felt like this is something that it was supposed to be for Super M, and Super M's going to basically be on hiatus because two of the members are in the military. One member is on indefinite hiatus until who knows?
Further notice.
Basically. So who knows what we're going to get with Super M right now. Well, wait, does Kai have to go to the military soon, right?
Oh, yeah, very soon. Even Taeyong as well. And at least with the thing, I think with SM, business-wise, I think it's a good idea that they started a female supergroup because one thing, they don't have to go to the military, so they can like promote and like like make gangbusters for Super M for SM. And with their concept of like being a rotational lineup, it's gonna add a lot more like excitement and interest like from like many audience and even the demographic, because there's going to be both like a male and a female audience who would be like interested in having like their favorite members from a girl group like be involved in this. So the next time we have like their favorite members like going to be in like the next comeback, like, oh yes, I'm going to be excited. I wanted to hear like the album and the track, the title tracks. So it's a good business move for SM to to establish this.
Yeah, I mean, as for like a debut for the song, I think it's the strongest song that they could have done. Like, I felt like they could have showcased their vocals a little bit better, especially because we know Taeyong has such amazing vocal range. If you've heard any of her solo work, go check out any and all of her solo work. Amazing stuff. Boa, even amazing. She's been on the scene for almost 20 years.
Yeah, 2000s. Yeah.
She's a queen in herself. Like literally a queen. She is like the queen.
Yeah, she is like the K-pop's like, like darling child. Well, other than IU later on, but like back then in the 2000s, like people like, compared her as like the Britney Spears of like the K-pop scene, or even Janet Jackson, like the way like her dance choreography.
Yeah, and
even like like even like, it was like an honor for like people to dance with her, like like only one's like a popular thing that like a lot of male dancers wanted to perform with, and then like Shotaro was able to do that during the New Year's Eve concert, which is like such that was like amazing to see.
Well, because usually that was Taemin who got to dance with her, but that was
Taemin is like a frequent partner of like Boa.
Of Boa,
yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just I feel like the song itself wasn't a strong like contender to like showcase all these vocalists. You know what I mean? In my mind, it's this kind of standard. It's just also kind of just standard SM flair too. It's like
it's like a formulaic SM like arrangement or produced.
Right. It's just nothing that's like, oh, it's typical SM. Okay. Next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the thing when you said like they could have like had more like thing to do for like the vocalist, I feel like that's one of like the downsides that I have personally when it comes with the song. I feel like my feedback would be it's like there's like an overwhelming amount of falsettos throughout the song. It's like everyone is like fighting for the high notes. So it's like Taeyeon, Wendy, Sugi, and Winter. Yeah, because I felt like there should be more. I felt more rapping or more of like the low key notes from other singers or rappers. Yeah, because like almost all the thing is like going a high. Even like the chorus too,
which I'm seeing is a big issue for why I think I don't like aespa, because like I feel like because obviously they push Karina Winter a lot with their vocals and their high vocals in that group, and yeah, I mean it kind of was getting the same vibes from this a little bit too, like some of the issues I see with aespa I was seeing here. And it's like, it's almost like you guys are not quite arranging your girl group stuff to the best of your abilities. Like you're just focusing more on those like high falsettos and like trying to do those ad libs way too much. And it's overwhelming, the song.
Yeah, and it's a bummer because I wanted to hear more rap segments from both Hyoyeon and Karina. Yeah, because like the rap flows was like super like that was excellent to like hear like them like coming back and forth with each other. And I think they did more like a service with aespa. I think especially with Karina, like to like showcase more of like her rap abilities. So it's like maybe if they could like balance that for like from like the vocal portions into like like the rap portions. I feel like they should have like a good balance with that, because like 90% or 95% of like the song is just like vocal high falsettos.
Yeah,
and it's almost like becoming like like becoming too loud, like when listening to the song.
Yeah, it's a little much, and like I said, that's one of the big problems I've been seeing with aespa. It's just, it is too much focusing on those high falsettos and those ad libs, and it's just overpowering everything. And there's just no balance in that lower register. And it's too much. It's too much auditory, like assault on my brain.
Yeah.
So it gets way too much. So I saw that so much. I saw this so much in Savage, so that's why.
Yeah, I know, like SM is like they really are proud of like their top tier vocalists. Like showcase like a lot of like those powerhouse singers. But yeah, it can be like too much. Maybe give more love with like to the rappers as well. Or,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, more love to the rap line guys. But no, it'll be interesting to see how they utilize this Girls on Top, the Scots female supergroup, what other female members they're going to add in, the different combinations they're going to do. Like that's going to be the more fascinating thing, I think, for me, to see who's all going to blend with who. And like if Boa is going to continue like kind of pioneering it or like leading it, or We're gonna
or she can like also produce like from the background if she doesn't want to be on the in the performance, so she can like really help in having like more input on like the music, because I think she wants to like I don't know how long she's been producing, but she's really been like on the forefront of like music producers.
Yeah, she's really been more heavily on the production side as of late, because she's been in the industry for so long. So it'll be very interesting to see, especially if she produced some of the female stuff. That'd be very interesting to see a good combination of that. That would be fascinating.
She did. So. She even did like the rendition of for aespa's Dreams Come True. She was like majorly involved in like doing the remake too.
Okay. Yeah, that would be nice. So. But yeah, no, let's move on to now all of our guy groups and guy releases for the week. Now to the guys. We had ladies first this week, but now we're on to the gentlemen of the week. I'm not sure, which one should we do first? Should we do our solo debut, or should we get into one of our albums first, or should we just get our solo and then just knock out just like albums?
Let's get it over with. Not that it's a bad thing. Like maybe the single from like Woozi's.
Sure. Let's get Woozi's single out of the way here first. So, and what we're talking about is Woozi from 17. Probably known not just obviously as a great vocalist from 17, but also probably their main producer. Does a lot of the production side of things for 17's work with Bumzu. I think he's produced almost every single 17 title track, or a good chunk of them, as well as a bunch of their B-sides. But this is his solo debut with Ruby. And, first off, was not expecting the full thing to be in English, because he's from Korea. So like he's not fluent in English, and he's singing very well in English. Like it's very, very well done.
I think, I don't know if it's because of HYBE's influence and them wanting to like branch out to like a Western demographic. So not just with BTS or, with, big hit artists like BTS, TXT, but, even, like this in 17 as well, and HYBE and probably as well. So
probably.
Yeah, I felt like that. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's like, confirmed to be like the case, but, it feels like they're trying to like,
could be that slightly, maybe a little. I'm not 100% sure because, because Pledis technically is under the HYBE umbrella of massive amount of groups that they now have under their corporation. But it is still kind of continuing in that rock vein that 17 was doing.
17 is doing.
Yeah, I was about to because it felt like something that could have been on Attica, honestly. The way it's produced and mixed. I really, really like it because it definitely fits in his Woozi's like production style. It's very, very the breakdown of it is really, really nice. Like, it starts off in a very different way before the guitars kick in, and then you really see him play with a lot of the production on his side, because he's playing a lot with like how he's mixed the song, mixing his vocals and stuff. Because it's like, there's a lot of distortion and stuff on his vocals and stuff like that. But it's still really, really heavily in like that early to mid aughts rock vein that like Attica was very much kind of emulating. Which is why I really liked Attica. Hence it was on my honorable mentions last year.
Music taste. Your music taste. Yes. I know your style. But I was about to say another thing that I'm kind of noticing. I don't know if that was intentional for HYBE to be part of like the influence, because not just with 17, but even TXT with their recent albums that have like a lot of rock heavy type of sound, and for the HYBE, which we'll be talking next week our next episode, we've been getting a lot of frequent or getting like an emergence of a rock genre into the K-pop industry. I don't know if this is like HYBE's idea to push more of that sound, but it's been getting getting noticeable. With like a lot of groups under the Hive umbrella. So that's what I was kind of noticing.
First probably started by Tomorrow by Together, but like now we're really starting to see like 17, obviously. Yeah, I mean this and Hyphen comeback, which again we'll talk about in our next episode because the Hyphen just literally came back. Yeah. We'll talk about them next episode, guys. I promise. But I will talk about Bless Cursed. Promised.
Bless Cursed, but I'm kind of like wondering. So if BTS are gonna come back with their new music, is it gonna be? Are they gonna phase up from like their disco, neo disco era, and go into more of like rock heavy?
It's like more like early odds. Is it gonna go back to like Most Beautiful Moment, kind of very emo-y?
Oh yeah, because like I like how K-pop, like the K-pop industry has like a lot of phases. So I think like back in like the late 2010s, we have like the Latino phase, and then now because of thanks to BTS, we have like the retro themes in the 2020s, and now is Hype gonna push for like the more rock centric music?
Yeah, because we went from a lot of like Latin sounds to a lot of like disco sounds, and now we're going to a lot of rock oriented sounds. So
and the rock,
retro rock, yeah, it's kind of very interesting seeing these different like sub patterns in K-pop. But going back to Woozi's, the one main criticism I will have of his song is just it ends, and like it just literally ends. And you're just like, wait, that's it? That's the song? You're done? Like, dude, like, I was expecting, like, I thought all of a sudden, like, he just, like, forgot to record the rest of the song.
I know, like, done.
It's like, where did the song go? Like,
where are you going? Where are you going?
Woozi, come back.
Yeah. It felt abrupt, like you're gonna cut short. It's like you're about to jump off a cliff, and then you like stop, like
like Wile E. Coyote, and you're just like hovering in midair.
Yeah, like hovering, but you don't fall at all. You don't fall. It's gonna be like next show or next episode.
Next episode.
I'm still here.
I mean, I really dig it. Like, I really do dig the sound. I really dig the style. Like how the production behind it. There's no one critique is that it just ends, and it's just not finished. It feels like in my mind, like it's just done. Like it just a little bit more just to polish it off at the end. Polish off that ruby, and then it would have been like an amazing song. It's just lacking that like just finale to it.
Yeah, because how even though we said like with if I compare it to with SM, like they have like a formulaic arrangement, but they still have like their own like climax of like like the third chorus or like the final the final chorus. I think it's probably because I'm used to a lot of like SM music. I was kind of expecting to have like some kind of like final bridge and like into like the final climax of the chorus where it all like the music crescendos to like its height and then resolves, stops. So like I don't know if it's just because of my taste with like another label that I have like that expectation, but I am kind of glad that we see like kind of like stops and then like, oh, that's it. Yeah. I really thought we're gonna be like, I thought it was about to get like into like the final bridge into the final part of the song. Like no, it's like it's done.
Because it just feels like it's building up to like something like that. Because it's kind of like the guitars are really driving that point and it's changing up a little bit, and it just kind of just ends. Like it's almost seems like just like that like next like just that like final like a little bit of chorus. Like it could just change up a little bit that final chorus a tiny bit. Because I've seen songs do that too, where the chorus is changed up a little bit, and that would have been cool to see that too. But it's just kind of missing that finale to it because it just ends. I mean, that could have been, like I said, that could have been just a stylistic choice Woozi wanted to do. But it's just in my mind, just feels a little bit abrupt. So. But I liked it.
You're not like satisfied. Yeah, it's like you're not like satisfied. You haven't like come into like a complete satisfaction, I guess.
Right.
Like,
I'm not fully satisfied.
Leaves you off in it's like leaves you off like blue balls. I'm kidding.
Oh God, now I'm going back to Bang Chan trying to explain what the fuck edging was. Not gonna explain that.
Sorry, what? What happened?
I'm not explaining that to you. I'm explaining that to you off mic. That was a whole thing around red lights, and yes.
I hear the boys like, excuse me, sorry, Bang Chan and what?
Again, y'all really did watch Bang Chan's room. It's hilarious as hell.
I'm like this, like look at me, like.
She stares at me disappointed with her Inuyasha shirt.
No, but even I'm just like putting my hands in my hair, like what? I'm sorry.
Anyway, before I dig myself into an even further hole,
dig
that hole that Woozi was in. Was that a pool or what was that? I don't know what that was because it feels like it was very Paris Fashion Week, and then he was somehow in a pool. I'm like very confused in the music video. I don't know. The music video was very confusing. It was very avant-garde fashion week, though.
Yeah,
it is. I'm not sure, but
I wasn't sure why it was like rated 15. Like I see nothing like any mature content from like this. The music video. It's like why is it rated 15?
I don't know. I do not know.
It's
weird. Anyway, but let's move right on along here with our little show here, and get into our second to last album of the week. And probably the one I've been actually looking forward to for a while. Because I'm quite a big piece out there, and I'm talking about P1 Harmony and their most recent comeback. Disharmony Find Out. This is their first comeback since when did their last album come out? That was a while ago. I feel like I know
we did it like last year, but it was like how many months has it been?
Disharmony Breakout, I feel like came out like April or May of last year. It was been a while. So it's been a while since they've had new music come out, but I really, like I said, I'm Peace, their fandom name, and I really do dig their sound, and I feel like this is just a continuation of their growth a little bit. I feel like their title track on this one, do you like this? This is probably the most like commercial sounding title track. Like this one may appeal the most to like the general audience versus like Siren or Scared. Even though like I say that like, but I don't mean that in a negative way whatsoever, because I still think it's very much in their vein of their sound and style.
It's like bordering from like a standard boy group like in the fourth generation would sound, because they have like the kind of like that like some of the parts that feels like something that like boy groups would sing, or like how it's produced.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was during like the bridge, or like during like I think when they have like this overall when they're all singing together feels very like boy group type of sound. But I think that like during like the other parts, it still feels very like much into like their identity as P1 Harmony. Mm-hmm. It took me I think the second listen to it, I was able to appreciate like the sound. Because like I thought like first it felt like a bit generic, but the second I kind of have captured that like the P1 Harmony sound.
Yeah, that we're more familiar with, because I mean they do have this really good. I think they have some of the more underrated vocalists between Keho and Theo. Like I think are highly underrated vocalists in the fourth generation. Like they don't get looked on enough. Because they're both immensely strong vocalists. And I mean, the rap prowess of Jung Sub and even Jiyoung's rapping is really, really good on here too. And it's like I said, it's do it like this. Like it just has this, Yeah, it's just like it's just fun, like boppy. It's just like, dude, like this. It's just like it makes me bop my head, much like like Wadada made bop my head. I had a lot of head boppers this week.
Yeah, the sound, like the main riff of like the of that song, like they the
Mhm.
it feels like it's I kind of noticed it with a lot of like their other beat tracks too. Like it feels very familiar. I've heard like that sound like from somewhere else. I'm not saying this like they're like it's generic, but it's
Right.
just like it's giving me like a lot of like nostalgic, a bit of like a nostalgic feeling when I listen to like the songs. Like where did I hear this like the like song with like the similar like similar type of like beat to it? It's like,
Mhm.
and it's so hard for me. I was like trying to research like I don't know time. I'm so tired, but yeah, I like how they kind of like caught me in that the kind of a bit of a nostalgic feeling into it.
Yeah, there's something almost like throwback to it. It feels
Yeah.
very like almost. I was trying to think, like almost late '90s, early aughts, West Coast ish. Like it feels almost very American in a way. Like some of their stuff feels very
Yeah.
American a
Like
way,
maybe
and
like
then
probably like a south like hip hop like type of like sound, like especially in the do it like this the main riff you hear in the at the
mhm,
back. Yeah, like
yeah,
yeah, something like would hear like somewhere in like in the US. I couldn't like pinpoint where exactly. It's probably
right.
like the south. Like yeah.
Yeah, there's something almost American to it, a little American
Hmm.
sounding to it, which is you don't hear a lot in K-pop. I mean, you do hear some. Obviously, there's a lot of American influence in K-pop, but like this really emulated that American sound a little bit, like that throwback American. Yeah, almost maybe it is the American South, like hip hop a little bit.
Yeah.
If we can try to pinpoint a region, I don't know. I'm not so good at my hip hop regions, and like pinpointing like the exact like distinctions of sounds and stuff, but it almost feels like that. And you mean even some of the other B sides too, like That's Money, like definitely
Oh
like
yeah.
is a like a throwback jam.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's really really hip hop driven. One of my favorite B sides on here, honestly.
Yeah. Same here with me.
Um,
It kind of like it has like that it's been a while since I've listened to like UK hip hop, but it kind of felt like something I would like listen to like some of the stuff from the UK. I don't know if I'm
mhm,
right about in that comparison, but they got like that techno hip hop like that into it, but they kind of made it feel more action packed cinematic because
mhm.
like how they succeeded in this is like it made me feel like I'm imagining like like going through like some kind of like action like sequence in a movie. It
Yeah,
feels like it's right for like for that tone.
yeah. I mean, and it helps with like a lot of like the audio cues and stuff into it too, because like they have like a lot of the money sounds and stuff too. I think that helps a little bit with
Hmm.
that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, again, it's really showcased again with like the hip hop prowess in this group. Um, because I mean, they have some really good hip hop vibes throughout this whole entire group. And they've been able to, and throughout all three of their albums, they've been able to really thrive on that. And it continues to grow and to mature to the fact that they can like go into these other like subgenres of hip hop and really play with these different kinds of subgenres and create these these sounds that definitely still sound like P1 Harmony. Um,
Hmm.
and but it's get them experimenting and them trying something different. Because I mean, even their whole sound is something different than other fourth generation groups. Because I mean, you can obviously distinguish other groups into other subgenres, and I feel like I don't because it's hard to put P1 Harmony I think in a subgroup because like they're not really noise in my head, like
No,
somewhat, but not really. Like
I
they're
think they
not
find like the
really.
right balance of like being like overproduced that it's like loud, it's like noisy, but they
Mhm,
have like it's almost like kind of subdued it a bit where you can hear, like the group, like the group's voices, and
mhm.
have like the background music, be able to like be like the anchor, like like the
Yeah,
yeah, they be able to like be like the backing like element in the music,
yeah.
in
You're
the
able to hear
production.
the
Yeah.
mix really well. Like you're able to hear the
Hmm.
backing instrumentals with the vocals. Like nothing's overpowering one another, and like I said, it's just all ties together well. There is harmony with this group, with it all coming together. Uh, I mean, it shows up even other tracks too, like Bop, which is I think one of my other favorite Beast tracks. Even like one of their slower tracks that I really like Before the Dawn, which is it's like I said, it's a slower track, and that showcases more of the vocal side of things, especially because like it's actually an opportunity I think for Jonathan to actually sing. Which I haven't heard a lot of because he's known as basically as the Machine of the group as well as like the main rapper of the group. And for him to actually like do vocalizations and actually sing with these gorgeous like orchestral strings behind the track, it's a really gorgeous mix that I was not expecting on a P1 Harmony album, but it works and it definitely sounds like them, and it's this very, again, almost very cinematic kind of sounding, almost like something that could be in a musical, the way it's broken down, especially with the chorus, the Before the Dawn in the chorus with Keo and Theo singing the part. It touched me, and it's a really moving song. So one of my B-side picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my other favorite other than That's Money would be Bop. Yeah, because it has like that really booming like the bass that really like bounces like at the back, and as well as like some nice mix of like the guitar licks as well. Like I really like that.
Yeah, I mean there's some good stuff in Bop. Like Bop is it's one of those like really driving hip hop based tracks that really gets you going, and it's got some really kind of cool wordplay in it too. If I was listening to the lyrics correctly, because I think they were doing the like there's like a reference like the frying pan game, which if you watch a lot of Korean variety shows, that's like a classic word game from Korean variety shows, and it's kind of fun to like pick up on that reference. And yeah, just all these different like kind of different references and stuff. So, and yeah, this was a fun album, and like I said, it was fun to see like all the teasers and stuff come out for this too, because they were starting to tie this in more with their universe. Because they have a whole universe where basically all 6 of them have superpowers, and they have saved the world. I think. This group has also debuted. They debuted with a whole feature-length movie, so that kind of explains our whole universe a little bit, and actually does kind of preview their superpowers. But now they've kind of explained. Well, I'll take that back. They explained 5 out of 6 of them, because one of them they've basically have established in the universe. Nobody knows what his power is. He's just an anomaly. He's an enigma. So we don't know what the heck he is.
He has the power himself.
I'm not sure exactly what Soul's power is. He's just a mystery.
He's a soul.
Also low key a villain in real life. But that's a whole another thing.
Yeah, I like how they're actually they're kind of like picking up from like EXO like drop. I get like almost drop kind of like, because how EXO was like used to like be really known for like having like the superpowered narrative. Now kind of like how P1 Harmony is picking up on that narrative. I didn't notice that they like, I don't know if they displayed their powers on in the music videos, but
they didn't really display much in the music video. Like there was some kind of interest. I'm trying to figure out what the whole thing with the clocks and then resetting at the end was. But a lot of the teaser stuff coming out before the album, they were teasing. They had these like little short vignette kind of things where they were all teasing the different powers. Kind of almost one was almost like a la The Office style. But yeah, it's they're kind of like, there's this fun little vignettes like each of the members and like them breaking down like their main like personality trait and then like their main superpower. But like I said, the one member Soul, they don't know what his power is, and he's just kind of a mystery. Like basically in the whole universe, like they just found him and he's just a mystery. We don't know what his power exactly is. They just knew he was immune to whatever virus that was basically wiping out humanity. because it's a whole complicated thing, because it's like two of them from like the recent past, one's from the present time, and three of them are from the future. They all ended up at the same time in the present time and have saved the world. It's a whole complicated thing.
So there's like your name or your name type of like thing is like covering like different timelines like to meet up.
Maybe potentially, I'm not sure. It's a whole like mystery, because there's like a bunch of other characters like they've introduced and stuff too that like are very mysterious, like that are like allies that are helping them out too. So yeah, I'm just like it's fun. It's a fun universe to get sucked into, and like the music really does fit into that universe too. And all 6 of them have really fun personalities. Like they're really kind of like they latch onto it really well, and like I can tell they're all having fun with it. So, which is important, I think. So, but yeah, I really dug this album. I thought this was a really good album. Like I said, it's kind of showcasing like this growth that they're really, really having with this group, and just overall like the depth of like where they can go, because they do have this really unique combination of both vocals and rap that not a lot of groups out there have. And they are able to balance it out very well with their production. And
yeah, I enjoy this album quite a bit too. It's like not like my favorite thing, but there's like some songs that I would like to like listen to again.
Yeah, no, I guess I probably will have I might have That's Money probably on my playlist quite a bit. That's a jam. So but let's get into our final album of the week. And we're going to get into, our last one of the week. And this is the group Uptension. And I think this is their 10th mini album.
Nice. Their Uptension and their 10th mini album.
Yeah, I know. Crazy how that worked out. But yeah, this is Uptension and their mini album. I just lost my place here. Their latest EP, Novella, with the title track Crazy About You. And to note, Uptension's been around for a while. They're technically a third generation group because they've been around since 2015.
Yeah, this is the only thing that I know from Uptension was that their song So Dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
And the only song, like I know, and then like from them, like I wasn't able to explore much of like their discography, unfortunately. Just that song.
I really like the song Blue Rose. That came out. Yeah. Oh God, that was like 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago. 10 years. Yeah, in 2018. That's another really good. That's actually one of their bigger hits too. Blue Rose, highly recommended. I feel like they have this like more like. They're a little bit more like easy listening, I find, with their songs. Like at least the few things I've listened from Uptension. I've only listened to a few things about Uptension. I haven't had a chance to really deep dive into them much. Also, what's interesting is they did originally have 10 members. There's currently 3 members that are on hiatus. One's in the military. 2 have technically on hiatus. They haven't technically left the group, but they were pursuing solo work. So they're promoting as a group of 8 now, or group of 7, excuse me. So it's kind of interesting right now. Because one of the members actually was part of X1. The ill-fated group X1. That was the member, that was Woosak, Kim Woosak, who's now doing solo work. Actually, both Jinhook also too. They're both on Produce 101. And the Woosak actually was able to get into the group that was able to be X1. But both Jinhook and Woosak are both now promoting as solo artists. So yeah, and then their original leader, Jinhoo, is currently in the military right now. So
okay.
So they're currently performing as a group of 7. Little back history for you guys, but yeah, as for this album, before the Novella. The album's name is Novella. I don't know why I'm losing my mind. Probably because it's getting late. I mean, I think this is definitely like, I can see myself actually kind of getting into something like this because this was a very easy listening album. Like, there's just something really relaxing about listening to this album.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's an interesting thing that they have like a slow ballad song as their title track, because usually like K-pop groups, they have like like a more upbeat title tracks to like give more excitement, for like people to listen to their album. But it's an interesting for them to like choose that instead.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a ballad.
Yeah, when I first like heard the song, I felt like this, like, are they like giving some kind of like farewell or some kind of like sentimental like tribute for like their fans, because it's like what, their 10th mini album or something. But yeah, that's what I kind of like going off from. But when I listened to like the rest of the album, it's all like fun and games like throughout, which I enjoyed. So that kind of took me by a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, there's just something that felt like a little bit more throwback to like what I've made, mostly because I've been listening to a lot of fourth gen as of late.
Yeah.
Did not mean listening to ATs on the regular. Anyway, and Stray Kids. But I just something really, just really nice to kind of go back to like this more old, like
third gen,
back to third gen, almost second turn to the third gen sound a little bit.
It does. I got that like sentiment too. Like it feels like we're going back to like that era of like the third gen sound of K-pop, which is like
yes.
Kind of, it's almost like refreshing to hear that again. Like, because I know, like, I always like associate like attention with the third gen. I thought like I really like, I was kind of worried that they wouldn't make it out alive in the fourth gen, but I'm glad that they're bringing it back, and it's making me like appreciate the sound more.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to go back to that song because like I haven't realized how much I've actually missed it until I listened to this album. And I'm like, I do miss this sound quite a bit. Like, like I really do vibe a lot with the third generation of music. Like I really do vibe with like a lot of the BTS that came out in third generation, a lot of EXO, got 17. God, what else? Came out in the third generation quite a bit. Because there's just something really like beautiful, like the arrangement and just the sentimentality of it. I don't know if it's the sentimentality, but
it's almost like yeah, like again nostalgic, and almost nostalgic, even though it's like what, 5 years, like, or almost like around
3, 4, 5 years ago,
3, 4, 5, yeah. But it's also like it makes you like it puts you back in like in a time, puts you like back in time, almost that kind of like energy.
Yeah, it does. Like, I mean, I got that vibe right away with the first track, Give Love. Like, I was just like, oh, I'm kind of feel like I'm going back in time here. I'm kind of going back to like in a time capsule, going back in time a few years in K-pop. And like, I'm not, getting heavily inundated with like all these like EDM and noise and all this stuff. And it's just kind of refreshing.
Yeah, I actually like think of like the Give Love, which is the first track of the album, as more like a house club dance type of beat. But when we go to like the Pandora, I can like already catch like that third, like early third gen sound like from them. Like, oh, like that's the attention that I kind of know, because I only hear them from their first song, but like it feels so much third gen.
Yeah, there's something a little EDM, like little house EDM-y with Give Love, but there's still like that just like nugget of like third gen sound to it. It's like it's just, it doesn't sound like what you would expect from fourth generation group. It's something which you would expect from a third generation group. But yeah, no, I mean, but the title track Crazy About You, like, I mean, ballsy to pick a ballad to do. I mean, I've seen title tracks be ballads before. And this is a ballad. It's slow. It's got this nice, just kind of calming aura to it. It feels super chill.
It's like, it really like slows you down. Yeah. It's like, it gets you to be more serene. After like listening to a lot of like like high energetic songs from the fourth generation, so it's like it's a nice change to it.
Yeah, especially after like everything we like listened to this week, because there was a lot of high energy stuff. This was really kind of nice to kind of just finish up wrapping up with all the listening and just be super chill and refreshing and just kind of finish up everything. And I really liked it. I just was, relax and just kind of let my things chill away.
Yeah, I actually because since it's like difficult for me to like really appreciate slow sentimental ballads, I think I prefer the song "Sad Ending" more. Because I really thought when I saw like the title "Sad Ending," like, oh shit, we're gonna be like super sappy, like title ending track. But like I was actually like I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like I take that back, because it's not like an emotional tearjerker type of ballad, but it's more like a groovy sentimental R&B. So that's the kind of like slow like it's the slow jams I would like be more into. So I kind of appreciate the final track being that. So I think that's more of my style and like my taste in music.
Okay.
And,
I know. Yeah, I know you. I know you're not a huge lover of like the slow, sappy, sentimental things. Like, I mean, I am to a point. Like, I don't like going like overly saccharine, sappy, sentimental. Like, I can tell there's a point like where it's like way too far for me.
I don't want to like feel this way, like that type of like I don't. Yeah. Even like I want to also like point out like my other favorite song would be "Incredible." Yeah. Also like going into like that similar club like house dance type of type of sound.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you. Like, I mean, I really like Pandora because it kind of like, that was really when I realized, I was like, oh, this is really third gen. Like, this is really throwback. I really dig this. And then, Incredible, just, like that kind of like house clubby sound. And then, Sad Ending just has, this is a great wrap up for this album. It's a great finishing track, because it is the last track on the album. And it's just a great last final footnote, I think, for this. It just sucks that like they don't get a lot of looks, I think, Up Tension anymore, because I mean they are, they've been around for a while, and well, it sucks that the agency that under Top Entertainment tends to have a crap ton of scandals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not necessarily the best agency out there. So, but
what's Kep1er's label again? What's Kep1er's label again?
Kep1er's under Swing.
Okay, I thought like when I saw like the thumbnail and the K-pop music video, I thought it's a Top as well. I was like, oh shit, Top.
No, Kep1er's under Swing. I think Kep1er's under a joint. They're under Swing and Wake One. There's a joint thing for Kep1er, so because that's what Mnet likes to do. I think
Wake One. Okay.
I think Wake One is like part of like Mnet's, Mnet and CJ massive conglomerate of like, because CJ is like massive company. So
yeah, okay.
And there's so many things under CJ. But yeah, no, it's it was just kind of nice. It was just a nice kind of wrap up for the week, for all these comebacks we had this week. Something different, something little throwback. All
around. So diverse. A diverse mix of
this week, yes, for sure. A little fourth gen, a little third gen, some solo debuts. But yeah, it makes me kind of want to go back and look at some of Up Tension's past stuff. Kind of like I need to go look at Fiction yet before Fiction comes back here in a couple weeks. Looking back at some of these third gen groups that are a little bit smaller, but I think deserve to have some looks. So, and I think Up Tension is one of those groups that definitely deserves looks, because they do have some very good stuff out there. They're like the third gen names that you don't like really like put out like immediately. It's almost like in the low ranking like whenever you like pick names from like the third gen of K-pop, which is kind of sad. But I'm glad that they're they're still like making more music to this day. I'm happy they're still making music too, and like I said, they've had some really good stuff. And I'm happy, like I said, I'm happy to see them continue making music here in 2022. I mean, considering they've been around since 2015, that's impressive. They're about to hit 7 years. That's a milestone. So that's a huge milestone in K-pop. So, major props to them to be able to hit that milestone. So, because not a lot of groups do. A lot of groups do fold in their first couple of years. So, especially from smaller labels. So, major props. But yeah, that's it for our album reviews for the week. And
the first of 2022.
Yeah, the first slew of albums, and we got a whole bunch coming. Like, me and Jenny were talking off mic, and there's a lot coming this month. Like, 2022 came and K-pop was like, yeah, you all ain't sleeping.
Throw out all the music.
I mean, what we've been teasing, like I said, N-Hyphen technically already came back as we're recording here on a Monday night, but we're going to talk about N-Hyphen on next week's episode. Because we didn't want to like overwhelm you guys with a ton of new music this week. We figured 5 was enough this week. So, but yeah, we have N-Hyphen coming next week. In the next episode. We also probably, what we're going to probably talk about, I'm thinking about talking about Chamin from TVXQ.
Oh gosh. Because
you come back.
I couldn't get over his last album, with Chocolate. Ooh.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie. The title track's called Devil.
Yeah, I know.
Lord help us.
I'm kind of scared it's gonna go back, or I don't know if it's gonna continue with his jazzy R&B with from his Chocolate era. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
I don't know what to expect either. We're gonna find out. We also have comeback from Only One Of, which I'm actually interested to see what's going to happen with that, because this is their first comeback without their leader, who left the group. When did that happen? Because they lost their their leader Love withdrew from the group back in August. He said he just left due to personal reasons. And so they're now releasing their 4th mini album finally, so it'll be very interesting to see. And now as a group of 6, bless you.
Bless you. Sorry.
That's all right. As well as I think we also have a comeback from, I'm curious to check out Mireille's comeback, and then depending on when we record next week, we might have to talk about Wien's solo comeback from Mamamoo. As well as, like I said, comebacks from both Fiction and from Bam Bam of GOT7, who I think we forgot to talk about earlier on the episode. But we
were about to mention his single with Solgi, but since his his mini album's coming out, okay, we'll just mention that, and during the album, we'll just wait it out.
We'll just wait out. We'll wait that out until
it's unnecessary for to talk about Bam again.
Yeah, we'll talk about that this album coming out. So, and
Moonbyul too. You said Wien and Moonbyul have their solo.
Wien's got a comeback coming on the 16th. So we got a lot of music coming at you here. So stay tuned on the Noonas podcast here. We're going to be just killing it here with music reviews. As well as hopefully no more scandals. Well, I say that and there'll be a scandal tomorrow. We've been watching way too much Encanto lately.
Right now we don't talk about JJ. We don't talk about JJ. The jet plane.
That's what we should call the episode. We don't talk about Jay anymore.
I'll change that time.
We're going to take this into consideration. We'll let you know you'll know what the episode title is once we discuss here. But before I ramble any further, Ginny, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yes, you can find me on Facebook at Ginny Leano. So that's GINNYLEANO. And you can check out my other design pages at Ginny Leano Designs. Instagram at Junie Designs, and all of my personal pages and links will be found from what I've said. And back to you, Jenny.
And you can find me, Jenny. You can find me over on Facebook, facebook.com/Jenny Matasek. That's Jenny with an I, Matasek. You can find me also over on Instagram and on Twitter at Chaos Bulldog. You can also find our show pages for the Noonas podcast over on Instagram and on Twitter at Noonas_podcast. Don't forget that underscore. You can also check out the Spotify playlist as well as our SoundCloud link. At least our Spotify playlist. Just look under the bios of those handles. You can check out our massive playlist from our best of 2021 over on Spotify as well. It's seriously, I have like 7 hours of music on that thing because I made that list massive for this year.
You have fun with that. Have fun with it.
Have fun listening, y'all. You can also check out our SoundCloud version of our show, the audio-only version of our show over on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Noonas podcast, all one word. And you can also check out the video form of our show with our wonderful visual aids that Ms. Ginny Liano provides for me and for all of you over on YouTube and on Facebook. Just search for the Noonas podcast. Make sure to click to like and subscribe, and make sure you get the notifications whenever we post new episodes, because I'm inconsistent as hell when I'm posting new episodes right now. But it's trying to find a common day to post new episodes. But hopefully 2022 will make things a little more consistent. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
also shout out to Alan for, helping us with the videos too. And, putting editing out our stuff.
Yeah, no, major shout out to our producer, Alan, who's been helping me get videos edited and stuff, because I can't edit things for anything anymore. I can only edit audio. I can't edit video. I probably could learn, but I don't have enough hours in a day.
Yeah, I don't know what Alan uses for if he does iMovie, but you could just just drag up pictures and then put the audio together.
One day I'll learn, potentially. I don't know. Right now I'm just kind of hoping and praying and waiting for COVID to finish its shit up. Actually, that's my main thing, because right now I'm hoping and praying that ATEEZ's concert will get postponed. I don't think that's going to happen though. So
and get vaccinated and get your boosters. I did today. Yeah. And
yes,
go get
boosted. Go get boosted. Go get your 5G booster shots.
Get the Noonas booster shot. Get your Noonas booster shot. We got the most the most effective vaccines here. No, I'm kidding.
Something
You're
like
not reliable.
Are we reliable? Somewhat. I don't know. Kinda. Anyway, this has been the Noonas podcast with Jenny and Ginny. I don't know if I said that at the beginning of the episode this week. It's been, guys, it's 2022. It's been 10 days into the year, and it's already gone to hell. So, yeah. Yeah, it's been that kind of year already. And I guess with that, we'll sign off with a resounding fighting.
Fighting. God help us both.
God help us all.